Welcome to the news at 4. I'm Doug Petcash. A surprising moment in the Vallow Daybell murder trial today. Vallow is the Rexburg mom charged with murder, conspiracy to commit murder, and grand theft in the deaths of two of her kids and her current husband's late wife, Tammy Daybell. Today, after the court took a lunch break, Vallow's attorneys asked for an unexpected recess. News Channel 7's Shira Matsuzawa was at the courthouse as this happened. So, Shira, what happened and then what unfolded next?
Well, Doug, our Alexandra Duggan was inside the courtroom when that happened. She said Vallow returned looking really sad, her arms crossed, and then she, along with her attorneys and the prosecution, then went into the judge's chambers. And when they came out, that's when her attorneys requested to waive her presence in the courtroom. Now, they cited her fragile state of mind and mental health. The prosecution argued case law and said a defendant has a right to be present, not the right to not be present. The judge denied Vallow's request to excuse herself today, saying, quote, her presence can and should be required to ensure her due process rights and a fair trial. Of course, this all happened after Rexburg Police Detective Ray Hermosillo started testifying this morning. Perhaps one of the toughest parts of his testimony was when he talked about serving a search warrant at Chad Daybell's house on June 9th of 2020. Hermosillo went into excruciating detail about the state in which JJ and Tylee were found on that day nearly 3 years ago. As we've reported, their remains were found on Vallow's husband Chad Daybell's property in Rexburg, and for the sake of this broadcast, we're not going to go into as much detail, but you can read more about it at ktvb.com. Today, the prosecution also showed photos of the property and the children's remains. As Hermosillo explained what led up to that discovery, we also saw photos of JJ from his autopsy, which perhaps was one of the most difficult moments for those who were both in the courtroom and the overflow room collectively. Hermosillo also laid out a timeline of how he was involved in this case and what led up to those moments, and we'll break that down coming up on the news at 4:30.
So, Shira, you described Lori Vallow as being sad and with her arms crossed, and then, of course, asking for that motion with the judge. How has her demeanor been up to this point now in this seventh day of proceedings in court?
Doug, from where I am in the overflow room, we can't really see her specifically, her reactions to things, but our Alexandra Duggan is in the courtroom and she's been tweeting about that, and we have more information about that at ktvb.com as well. But, in terms of the grandfather, Larry Woodcock, when they showed those photos of JJ and his autopsy, she did say that he was hunched over, crying in tears, seeing that. So definitely an emotional day overall today in court.
Hard for anyone to see that, let alone the families. Wow. All right, Shira, thank you, and we'll see you at 4:30. If you want more behind-the-scenes coverage of the trial, check out our YouTube streaming show called Lori Vallow Inside the Courtroom. A new episode is up online right now, talking about opening arguments and the first two witnesses called to the stand before Detective Hermosillo.